I believe that health and wealth is tied together. And I learned only this lesson last year. I almost lost my mental and physical health because I was going through so much stress, and my wealth collapsed completely. And I'm glad that it happened because I associated both of them together. And if I may empower you guys to see it that way as well, if you put yourself first in time of crisis, this is very, very important. This is where you need to focus on what you have. And, you know, we always talk about that, Kareem and I, how we always come to a place of gratefulness. And I know it sounds like everybody talks about gratefulness, but I have lived it last year. And because I kept on putting myself back in a grateful spot, it really, really helped my mindset. And that's what I only focus on one thing, one side of my business, and that's what got me out of the hole. So focus on one thing, because we tend to go scatterbrain when we're in so much financial stress that we're trying to spread ourselves across too thin everywhere to try to bring income as fast as we can. But if we focus on only one thing, this is where things really, and keep a grateful mind, right? Look at your expenses, super easy, right? Look at what's coming out, what you can cut back on. And now is the perfect time to negotiate, you know, and to get creative. And by being creative, what I mean is like, call your car insurance. It's really the time. Like I also mentioned, like, we don't know how long it's going to last, but if you don't have a job that you really need your car, you can put your insurance on hold and not pay for a couple of months. So that's savings right there. Call your providers, the cable provider, the cell phone provider, you know, they're all willing at this point to negotiate. And I'm not saying negotiate your plans down, is negotiate the price down. You know, I negotiated, I got my discount. So
yeah. So Melanie,
yeah.
what are some of the top questions right now? Like, what are your clients calling you about? What are they concerned about? What are some of the opportunities that they're seeing?
It's tough out there. I'll be right honest. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat. It's tough. Like, people lost their jobs. EI for most of them is not enough to cover the bills. So that's where the negotiation comes, you know, very endy. And using the benefits that's offered is great. But if it's not enough, then that's where you've got to be creative. It's your opportunity, is your chance now to really either defer. You can ask for deferrals. Yes, it's gonna add up on interest, but sometimes, you know what, this is what it is. This is where we are at now, is focusing on everything you can do in order to make things work for now, but also not let it defeat you. It's okay to have a little bit of a pity party. It's fine. We all need that. But as long as you don't stay there, and this is why I have been supporting my community, because I have my emergency funds, right, as my financial advisor and recommendations that I give. But, you know, now it's a time that if you didn't have your emergency funds, what steps can you take when this is all over, right? And make yourself ready and learn about what's possible and how you can make, because a lot of my clients are like, well, yeah, but I live paycheck to paycheck. But when we sit down together, most of the time, they're not really paycheck to paycheck. There are lots of great little things that we can switch around, that we can change. And, you know, I don't believe in cutting everything great in life. Trust me, I still drink my wine.
So what do you recommend? Like, what are some examples, or what are like 3 things people can learn right now while they have time related to money?
Like bank fees, for instance, just that. Okay, my life is very exciting. I have 2 exes. So I used to have 3 joint accounts. Well, 2 joint accounts and 1 account. And when I looked at the bank fees, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm paying like close to $100. So call these accounts. So you guys can do the same. Like sometimes you're just placed in a bank account that you're paying about $30 worth of bank fees. Like just that little tweak, I mean, it's $360 a year that you're saving that you can reallocate somewhere else. right? TV, do you really need TV? There's a lot of shows online. And I know it's not, so you want to have your latte? Sure, you can have your latte, but maybe at this time, anyway. Now it's great because now you're all creating great habits because we can't go anywhere really. I mean, we don't drink as much coffee anymore. You make it home. But if latte or getting your nails done is your treat. My treat for my nails, I get it once a month, and I do French manicure. So then when it grows out, it doesn't show us that.
Okay, so talk about like when however much income you make, how you divide it in terms of, like you said,
yes.
money to use and splurge on yourself versus money to save versus money to invest. Like what's some of the advice that you give your clients there?
Yes. So yes, you always have to allocate an amount for splurging for yourself, because self-care, and I'm a little biased, as mamas or female, sorry guys, but it's very important that you put yourself first, men or female. It's key. Just like, we work out because it makes us feel a certain way, or we put makeup on today for you guys because it's a boost of energy. So, because that also helps the mindset. So you allocate a third into your expenses, typically, right? That's ideal. If you have more than a third that goes out to rent, like fixed expense, then that's where things get a little bit more exciting and challenging. Then what I would do as a self-employed, again, when you're employed, you don't have as much flexibilities, okay? If you're self-employed, then the sky is the limit in a way that we can make 100K a month if we want, right? But then I allocate 10% into my personal splurge account. So when I get a commission, I get 10%, and that's my play money to just spoil myself. So I can decide to hold it for vacations, and I name my account, right? And that will get you excited. Like I have my travel account, I have my real estate account, because for me, it's important to be able to invest in real estate eventually, right? So I have that account and I plan for it. And then the rest is for, everything else, like donation. I also take 10% for donation, because I also believe in the karma bank, that I call it, right? So the money energy flows when you give back, especially now, right? We all encouraging each other's businesses, and I find it's such a beautiful energy. People are doing exchange of businesses, and that's why I think that COVID would really help all of us move up to the next level financially, emotionally, like health-wise, because now we're more connected in a way than ever. And we will be more mindful in using local businesses as well. So, did I answer your question, or did I give you?
Yes. Well, I had a follow-up question in terms of like the actual placement. So I think you said you have jars, but I wanted to just like, is that physical?
That's for my kids, but yes, jar, you can use jar, but like I use 1/3 for like fixed expenses, 10% for donation, 10% for play, and then the rest is for variable expenses, right? And savings, savings, always keep in mind 20% is ideal to put in saving as well, right? So.
Okay, and there was a question from Steven.
Yeah.
How much is a solid emergency fund? So like how much, like realistically, you know what I mean?
Yeah. See, with this, I always say 3 to 6 months, right? Typically. But with what's happening now, it kind of shifted. And I recently listened to a podcast, and the guy was saying a year of emergency fund, which for me, I kind of disagree a little bit on this, because I also believe in living and enjoying the money that we make. So at this point for me, I would say at least 6 months. 6 to 9 months would be ideal of fixed expenses, right? So your rent, your property tax, your maintenance fees if you live in a condo, like those are fixed, right? they come every month the same amount. So ideally, and don't get overwhelmed. It's just about making a plan. It will take time, and that's okay, right? But it all comes to automation. When I have a pay, it goes automatically into my accounts. I don't even see it. So then what you guys don't see, we don't tend to spend it. And you create, and baby step. It's baby step, right? And the more we make, the more you need to increase that contribution automatically.
Yeah, well,
The more we make, the more we spend.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the things I was recently reading, which is pretty common knowledge, but it's like, yeah, the more you make, you just end up like increasing your
your
style of
expenses.
living, right? The way you live and stuff, so your standard
Yes.
of living. So I think that's a big one. But there's two things I wanted to quickly get into. The first is what else? You mentioned real estate as a investment opportunity. So is there anything else that you're seeing as investment opportunity right now? Anything on like in terms of stocks? Like there's so many stocks that went down.
Yeah,
And
well, right
also,
now.
and then also too, if you could just also talk about the financial guide that you put together for all the different
Yeah, the
resources
COVID.
that are available right now.
Absolutely. Yes, if you guys have disposable income, because some people are still working, they still make great income and they have their emergency funds built, right? I believe that right now, if you don't have your emergency funds, keep in mind that you've got to build that first in order for you to be able to seize an investment opportunity, right? So yes, I mean, if you want to invest in mutual funds or stocks, everything is on sale right now. So yes, it's a great time. I also believe I'm not a real estate agent, but I also believe that the real estate market is going to go a little down. So I'm getting excited about that. But we'll see. I mean, I pick my best friend's brain all the time, follow the market. You know, if I'm wide open, I'm not a huge fan of RRSP.
Okay.
Again, depending on your goal, if it's to save on tax, then yes, RSP may be good for you if you make a six-figure income and you're in the highest tax bracket. But other than that, TFSA is much better. So then you don't lock in your money, and then you can really seize an opportunity to use and leverage this money back into something else. Even though there's the first-time home buyers plan, if you're a first-time buyer, you can take out 30K out of your RSP, but you have to pay it back, right? So yeah, I'm a little biased about real estate investment. On the COVID benefits, if I can then just touch quickly, briefly, we did write a blog and it's on my website if you guys want to look it up after. Like it's in one spot, but to give you, I'm not sure if there's a lot of self-employed here or employed, but they divided it into employee and employers. So employee has to go through EI first. If you qualify, if you've met the 630 hours, then you go through EI and then you will get your EI benefit. If you don't qualify, then you go with CERB, and it's super simple to go through. So, and if you apply for EI and you didn't qualify for some reason, they'll transfer you over automatically to CERB. So it's streamlined, it's very easy. So CERB is at $2,000 a month. And they changed recently. It used to be to qualify zero income. Now you can make up to $1,000 a month. Okay, which is great news for people who didn't lose their job but got their hours reduced dramatically. So at least they can make up to 3K together combined with the benefit, which help. If you have kids, then the children benefit also is increasing to, I have a brain fart here. I think it's $200, no, $250 per children. Is that 150? I have a total brain fart here. It's on my website.
Not sure.
Let me see. Yes, $300. Sorry, $300 per kids. Yes, so 300, and you have the GST as well, one-time lump sum additional. So for single, it's $400 $500, and for couple is $600. And then additionally, if you have student loans, then you can ask for an interest-free 6-month deferral as long as you were already paying your loan. Just FYI. And there's also the Ontario Family Support that gives $200 per children, just to help out with supplies like school supplies at home. And then if you have a special need kids, then it's $250. Super easy. Again, the link is on my website. How you apply for CRB, also very easy. 3 questions. If you're self-employed, then you go the route CRB because most of us don't qualify for EI. We don't contribute. If you contributed, then that's great. There's also subsidies for your employees. So if payrolls were set up, and you drop your revenue by 15% for the month of March, then you qualify for 75% of subsidies, which is great. But you have to have a drop in revenue, obviously 15%. And then for the April month, 30% drop in revenue to qualify for subsidies. Again, you can apply on your CRA business account. It's not up yet. I was following up with my bookkeeper, and it should be up in a couple of weeks maybe. So we're not sure. It should be up sooner, but she said it could be another couple of weeks in order for us to be able to apply. So stay tuned on that. There is also, if you don't qualify for the 75%, there is a 10% wage subsidies on payroll remittance up to $1,375 per employee. And there is that super loan as well, $40,000 with the first $10,000 forgivable. If you qualify, there's some criteria to qualify, and you also have to have $50,000 to $1 million payroll in order to qualify for this kind of line of credit. It's a line of credit up to December this year, and then it's switched it over to a loan. So there's no interest until the end of the year. And then if you cannot pay it back by the end of the year, 2020, then it transfers into a typical loan with typical interest. But, it's there to help.
Okay.
At least we've got that. And the good news is that CRB is more lenient now, like to be able to make at least $1,000 and get the $2,000. The only thing I like to impress upon you, ladies and gentlemen, is that you have to have made $5,000 minimum in 2019. So if some of you were students and did not meet that, do not apply, because there's going to be huge penalties, I hear. Right? And if you do decide, because in life we all make decisions and we have a choice. And if you do decide that is at this moment applying and getting that 2,000 is what is needed to survive, just know that it might come back and bite you in the derrière after, because I hear that the interest rate might be quite significant.
Okay, so somebody's asking if it's in the last 12 months or 2019, and Monique saying it's in 2019.
For the 5,000 income?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, it's 2009, the last 12 months, yeah. Okay. So if you made 5K, then you're good to apply.
So in 2019?
Yeah, you have to have made $5,000 in 2019.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So yeah, so thank you, Melanie. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, let people know where they can find you. I know you said that you're offering some services right now, so
yes,
maybe just let people know what they can lean on you for, where they could find you, and anything else that you have going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody that needs like 20-minute calls, and then if you need more than that, then I'm here to support. I'm here to support. So it's a great networking group, and I'm happy to do that and brainstorm some great ideas.
Cool. All right, and yeah, just post your info.
I will do
your
that.
Website and everything. I posted a link to Melanie's financial guide. So if anybody is looking, it should be there in the comments. And then yeah, so thank you. You guys just give Melanie a round of applause. You can, yeah, they're mostly on mute, but you can see them.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
And Melanie, I hope you'll stick around for the rest.
Yes, I put my kids in the bathroom. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. All right, cool, cool,
They're
cool.
locked in there. But I might have to jump a little early because, yeah, it's bedtime for my daughter soon. So
Yeah, all good, all good.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. So yeah, we'll take a little like 2-minute